感谢美国代表团的发言。下面有请斯洛文尼亚代表发言。
Thank you, Mr. President. We are encouraged by the leadership of China in organizing today's debate, and we thank Secretary General for his briefing earlier. Colleagues, soon we will mark 80 years since the end of the Second World War. Devastation and suffering caused by the war led the leaders to unite and establish the UN with the noble motivation, quote, to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, end of quote. Our organization and hope for a peaceful future raised as a phoenix out of the ashes of the war, as beautifully depicted by Per Krog's mural for peace hanging in the chamber just behind us or above us. However, as if the core to the raison d'etre of our organization has loosened with time, and as if we are not capable anymore to imagine peace. The conflicts are running at an all-time high. The UN Charter, the international law, international humanitarian law, and the resolutions of this Council are all being undermined and right out violated or ignored without any accountability. Since we have entered the Security Council a year ago, we have been asking ourselves how to revive the spirit of San Francisco. Like Guyana, we are asking ourselves how to rebuild the trust among ourselves and in the Council. And like Sierra Leone, we are wondering how to reverse the erosion of international order based on international law and built around the organization. These questions led us to organize the Leadership for Peace open debate during the Security Council presidency in September last year. Together, we adopted a presidential statement and recommitted to our responsibilities and roles. The number of speakers then and today is a testament of our continuing belief in the United Nations. Mr. President, let me make 3 points on how Slovenia sees the way forward. And they are: focus on what we have in common, address new non-traditional security threats, and protect achievements of the past 8 decades. First, international community joined under the umbrella of the United Nations continues to share most noble aspirations. We committed to a world free of fear and free of want. We committed for every human to be able to have her needs, rights, and dignity protected and promoted. These goals continue to unite us. Last year, we adopted the Pact for the Future, for a world that is safe, peaceful, just, equal, inclusive, sustainable, and prosperous. A world in which well-being, security, and dignity, and solidarity, and healthy planet are assured for all humanity. We agree with you, Mr. President, as with many other colleagues who are convinced that the Pact is a good and broad enough basis to implement our common aspirations. Second, international community joined under the umbrella of the United Nations should acknowledge the profound global transformation we are experiencing today, a transformation that is adding new, non-traditional concerns to the existing ones. Climate change and environmental threats can fuel conflicts. Water-related risks are a challenge to the resilience of societies. Cyber attacks on critical infrastructure, hospitals, and government institutions can bring the world to a standstill. Disregard for safety and protection of nuclear power plants can hinder lives of generations to come. Terrorism continues to threaten security and well-being of all our citizens. These new security concerns don't stop at our borders. They don't recognize regional divisions. They represent our shared concern, our common threat. And the Council should step up efforts in addressing them. So let us commit to fighting these challenges, and let us do it together. UN community is our strength. And my third and last point, international community joined under the umbrella of the United Nations should be proud of its past achievements. A major contribution of the UN with its legal framework is that it enabled the power of rules to replace the rule of power. Even if it doesn't always work properly and in all situations, it provides a protective shield for a great majority of member states against notion of might is right, in the words of my Danish colleague. Violations of the UN Charter, of the international law and international humanitarian law, the erosion of respect for the work of the humanitarian organizations and their staff, disregard for the protection of civilians, especially women and children in armed conflicts, without any accountability, risk driving our world into disorder and chaos. So, colleagues, the Secretary General Dag Hammarskjöld once observed that it is not big powers who need the UN for their protection. It is all the others. We, the others, the great majority of UN member states, should act accordingly to protect 8 decades of the international system based on rules and the UN Charter, and build consensus to deliver peace, to end with a quote of the current Secretary General. Thank you.
我感谢斯洛文尼亚代表的发言。下面我请玻利维亚外交部长伦达女士阁下发言。
Muchísimas gracias, señor presidente. El Estado Plurinacional de Bolivia saluda la presidencia de China frente del Consejo